Hello everyone, welcome to Insider PV. My name is Poncho Davalos, your router for life, and this is episode 16. And I'm very happy as all the time because I always, try to bring you very cool people that they are part of the community. And today I have this person that is an entrepreneur, and we're gonna get to know more about him. I met him before and we were talking about it, but now I'm starting to get to know him more. And we have Juan. ¿Cómo estás, Juan?
Muy bien, muy bien. Should I speak in English?
In English, that's
okay.
good.
I'm used to talking to you in Spanish.
Yeah, no problem. That's good. So
I forgot.
No problem. Where are you from, Juan?
I'm from Texas. I was born in El Paso and then half my life in Houston.
Okay. So, what do you love about Vallarta?
Wow, what do I love about Vallarta? I love that it's a small town. I love the small town feel. It's somewhere that you can walk the streets and see lots of people you know, and you never really have to be alone. You know, I can take a walk and come across 5 people that I know, or walk into a coffee shop and see someone that I know. So it's a very warm, inviting place.
So do you have dogs?
Yes.
So technically, when you walk your dogs, you see, if it normally takes like a 30 minutes, could take you like a 45 minutes because you chat with people and things like that?
Unfortunately, I don't walk my dogs. I know I should. I'm a bad dad. I'd have 4 of them. And it would just end up being more stress than managing 4 dogs on the street. And then I live up on the mountain, so it's like I'd have to drive the car down with my dogs, pull them out. I kind of sometimes wish I lived in the zona romantica, like in the middle of everything, so I could just walk out and walk back, but I have to do the car thing.
Okay, so when was the first time that you came to Vallarta?
Oh my gosh, 20 something years ago, 23 years ago, I came on a little vacation by myself, fell in love, and I remember thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool if I could somehow one day live here? What could I do living here? Little did I know that, I don't know, maybe 5 years later or 6 years later, I would be looking into that and coming. I guess maybe it was more than 6 years, but yeah.
Okay, so the first time you came by yourself, but who told you about Vallarta?
I just did research on gay travel in Mexico because I wanted to go somewhere gay friendly, and Puerto Vallarta came up, and I stayed at the Blue Chairs, and and I did a little road trip. I hit Vallarta, I did San Miguel, I did Guanajuato, Guadalajara, I think, yeah. And I fell in love with Vallarta. I love the water, I love mountains, and then it was just such a gay-friendly atmosphere that I felt at home.
And actually, it's very important that you mentioned that it's this gay-friendly city because many people from the States, they probably are struggling, like actually go to Mexico or to PV, and they feel that they can feel like in home here.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell us a little bit more further. Like, you arrived your first time that you came here, it was 23 years ago, more or less.
Around 23 years ago.
23 years ago.
And then you want to know what happened after that?
Yes.
Okay.
I want all the gossip.
I met my now husband a few years later.
Yes.
Brought him to Vallarta. He had actually visited here like 30 or 40 years ago with his parents when he was, a kid, and so it's changed a lot. But we came here. We had been searching throughout the world where to retire.
Okay.
And we had all these ideas, maybe Italy, maybe here. So we were going everywhere. And we came to Vallarta. I showed him my favorite town. He liked it. We came back. We were here remember when the swine flu hit, the drug wars?
Yes.
And the American economy failed. It was like 2009, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we were here during Christmas, and we thought, why don't we just, for the hell of it, look at real estate? We looked at maybe 10 properties. We made an offer on one. We made a lowball offer because the economy was like in a bad place, and they accepted it. And we were like, wow, I guess this is where we're going to be living.
Did you expect that the offer would pass? It was just like, well, it happened.
We didn't know. We made over $100,000 less than what they were asking. Mm-hmm. We kind of didn't think they would take it, and they did. And we're like, okay, I guess this is where we're living.
I think it's when reality hits you, right? Yeah, that like, oh my God.
Right. And at first we were just coming here like once a month. Like a month out of the year, and then it was like 2 months and 3 months, and then it was 6 months, and now it's full time.
So what do you do before opening your business here back in the States? What was your profession?
I worked in interior design before. I did a lot of things. Also taught a little bit. Unfortunately, I only taught for a year because I live in Texas, and Texas is a very conservative state. Mm-hmm. And I was my license was canceled as a teacher because I was gay. And that was kind of the catalyst of when we made our big move here. I kind of was done with Texas politics.
Yeah.
And it was actually legal at that time to discriminate. They could fire you based on sexuality.
And we're talking that was in 2000 what?
Oh my God.
2007, 2009?
Somewhere around, it was after that. I can't even remember now, but
probably 2012.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. And it was legal for the school district to fire teachers, and it was legal in the state. You could discriminate based on sexuality. And so I lost my job, and I lost my accreditation as a teacher.
That's incredible to hear that. Well, for me as a Mexican, I will think that Mexico, we know that Mexico is a very macho country, right? Mm-hmm. But I never hear people, probably I hope not, right? But that they've been released of their job, or that they fired them of their sexuality.
And it wasn't my first job that had happened. And that actually, now I remember, that was the year before the whole It Gets Better movement. I don't know if you remember the It Gets Better movement in the U.S. Kids started committing suicide, a lot of gay kids, because they were being bullied. And they started this movement in the States called It Gets Better.
Yeah.
And my firing happened the year before all those big suicides. And I was standing up for gays in the school, in my school, because there was a lot of kids being bullied.
Yeah.
Which caused me to lose my job.
That's pretty sad. How did you face that, for example, like...
How did I face it? How did I deal with it?
Yeah.
It was hard in the beginning because I really gave my heart and soul into teaching, and I was going to be nominated for Teacher of the Year for all the things that I did, because I really got creative with the kids and did a lot of really fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And then to be told that you're going to lose your license and all that, it was a hard pill to swallow. But had that not happened, maybe Vallarta wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know some people say it happens for a reason. The one good thing that came out of it is when I went back I was teaching Spanish, and so I went back and I perfected my Spanish, because I actually lost my Spanish. I'm Mexican by heritage, but when I was a child, I lived in El Paso, which is a very, at that time, there was a lot of discrimination with Mexicans. If you were Mexican, you couldn't speak Spanish in the school. I was punished. So I lost a lot of my Spanish.
Yeah.
So when I went to teach Spanish, I had to relearn, it in a right way. And I learned how to write it and speak it a lot better. And I use it now a lot. And it's really helped me here in Vallarta. So it kind of, I don't know. I guess things do happen for a reason. And I went through that process for something. And I have grown emotionally, and it's made me I don't know if you want to say a kinder person, but I love people and I love helping, and it's taught me the other side of discrimination, and it's something I would never do to anyone, and it's made me a better person, I think, those bad tribulations that you...
I know.
Yeah.
So you had that bad experience, and it's when you decide to come to Vallarta more often.
Yeah.
Because you start to do interior designer, but you had that freedom to come and spending more time.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to open La Catrina?
La Catrina. Okay, so we moved here to retire.
I don't think you're
that. We didn't retire. We immediately started a charity here, the Casa Jojo Foundation, to help an orphanage, Corazón de Niña, and a women's shelter, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Mm-hmm. And then I started a boat club because I wanted a boat, but then it's kind of like a timeshare. And then what happened with La Catrina was it was the pandemic hit, and I love the arts. I love music, and all of my friends who were singers were losing their jobs.
Their job because no one was able to perform.
They closed the clubs, they closed the theaters, they were closing everything, and so some of my good friends were moving away, and I thought we can't have this. So we were doing charity concerts by our pool, but there's only so much charity you can do. And then I saw this space available above Cookie's Karaoke Bar that had never made it as a bar. Every time a bar opened there, it failed.
I remember that, yeah.
So I thought, okay, we were halfway into the pandemic, and I was going a little stir crazy anyways. And I thought, I'm going to open up a place and put in a kitchen, call us a restaurant, and put a stage and have all my friends sing there. So that is why I opened La Catrina, was to help singers during the pandemic and create some good jobs. I also wanted to hire people that normally wouldn't get hired. So I hired people who didn't speak English, because it's very, in Vallarta, if you don't speak English, you're more than likely not going to get a job in the service industry.
Yeah.
So my goal was to teach them, and I got a manager who did speak English and actually had taught English, and we taught them, and they all speak very good English now. I still have a couple that I've hired since then that we're trying to teach, but it gave me pleasure to be able to make a real difference.
Yeah.
And that was something I learned through our charity. I get enjoyment from helping others. I kind of lost track, didn't I? So but yeah, so that's how we opened up, and we've been open now 3 years. It was rough. It's been rough, but we're growing, and people now know our name, and I'm excited about this new season. This high season, I think, is going to be really good for us.
I feel that too. Okay, so you say that you opened that in the middle of the pandemic. Were you in fear about because it was like a shoot like this
It was a big risk.
Yeah, because you can put all your all your savings there, and then
I took a loan. I still owe the loan.
Okay.
My goal was to actually teach the team how to run it, teach them how to offer great service, create a great atmosphere, and then hand it over to my team, and then them just pay me back my loan and maybe a small percentage of the sales. I really wanted to hand it over. It wasn't something that I wanted to do forever. But yeah, it was a big risk.
Yes.
And I've worked the hardest I've ever worked in my life.
So how your day starts right now, for example?
Well, I get up, I have an office and an assistant, and we work on the scheduling. I have over 20 artists, over 20 shows per week. Most of them are free. Those things change, artists cancel, blah, blah, blah. We have to come up with new ideas. Okay, what's working, what's not working? How can we get people in? What special events can we do? You have to always get very creative. And then you have to design the marketing. You got to go out there and, I've been learning by baptism by fire. This is not my background. A restaurant, bar, marketing, social media, doing all those things. Aside from that, I launched an app called PV Now.
Yes.
It's an entertainment app.
Yeah.
And I actually had that idea before I opened the bar. I was going to do that a year or two before to help entertainers, because people were always complaining, where can we look to see what's happening in Vallarta in one place? And there wasn't. So I had this idea for an app that had a calendar that you could just look at what's happening today, and it showed you all the venues by time, so you could organize your day, your entertainment, and we could get more people to the shows of all the entertainers, because it's really sad that when an entertainer has a show and there's hardly anyone in their show. And I live for entertainment.
Yeah.
I love to be entertained. So that's the other thing I love about Vallarta, is there's so much talent and artistry here, and we have to support it if we want that.
So when you were a kid, did you dance? Did you sing?
I did. I used to create...
Tell me more about it.
I used to create little talent shows.
Okay.
With my cousins. I was the gay little cousin that, put everyone to perform, and we would lip sync, and I was always creating stuff. And there's some bad videos out there of me and my cousins putting on these performances.
Yes. So who was your favorite singer at the time that you loved to play or perform?
back then, oh my God, I don't know. I loved so many. I mean, I used to love Prince.
Okay.
And I liked Michael Jackson, and and of course the female, all the female divas.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
You
me
know.
too. The same with me too.
Right.
So yes, that's awesome. And for how long you did that, or was just when you were a kid? Was just like a game,
It
or
was just a kid, teenagers, and I would, the summers we would spend with our cousins in my grandmother's house, and I would get bored, and I'd put everyone to create some sort of show, and I've always been drawn to entertainment, never knowing that one day I would have a bar with entertainers.
Yeah.
It's really weird how your life kind of comes full circle, but that is one thing that life has taught me, is that everything you do it well. And learn from it, because you can take something from everything later in your life and apply it. And so I've had so many different kinds of jobs, and there's things from each job that I've taken that today help
you a lot
in everything that I'm doing.
How many performers you have right now at La Catrina?
Over 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why you name it La Catrina
Cantina. Okay, I love Catrinas because they're like drag queens.
Okay. And you're right.
For people that don't know what a Catrina is, it's a woman painted up like a skeleton, Day of the Dead kind of thing. And I love Day of the Dead. I love Mexican culture. When I opened something here, I wanted to do something that reflected Mexican culture. I felt a lot of bars and restaurants are very American. And I feel when tourists come to Mexico, they also want a flavor of Mexico.
Exactly.
And Mexico has a lot of beautiful culture and music and just decor, and I thought, I want that in my bar. So I wanted murals of Day of the Dead, of Catrinas, and then I thought, well, what rhymes with Catrina? A cantina. Cantina means bar, so La Catrina Cantina, to me the name was just perfect.
It's perfect, actually. With the game, with the words, works perfect. Tell people how is for example, that Latino night on Fridays, the salsa night.
Well, Friday our Latin night starts around 10 o'clock with Stella Rosas, and she does baladas, cumbias, salsa, different things, and then at 11 we start with Las Tres Grandes, our drag show.
Okay.
And we have drag queens who sing live. And then we have an actual woman who's a part of it, a real one. And they do all kinds of Latin music, even from pop to whatever you want. It's kind of, you say what you want to hear, and they're very engaged with the audience, and they make it happen. Saturdays is when we have our dance lessons. We're now starting tango lessons every other week. It's just new. And then we have our bachata lessons at 7, salsa lessons at 8. And then at 9 we have a singer who'll do salsa and cumbia, and then 10 o'clock we have our big salsa group that comes in and sings live for the rest of the evening. And it's our most popular night, Saturdays, with locals. Yeah. That's the great thing about La Catrina is I wanted something that mixed with locals and tourists, and so tourists could come in and see how locals party, because a lot of bars are very segregated.
Yes.
And the one thing I've heard about my bar, which I'm very happy about, is it's very diverse.
Yes.
You get everything there. Every age group, white, black, Asian, Latino, local. I mean, it is just this big mix, melting pot of people all having a good time. And so Saturdays is a good night to come see local Mexicans dance salsa, and it's fun because we have some really good salsa dancers who come in there, and some of them do the Cuban La Rueda. I don't know, it's like a ring where they dance in unison together, and just even watching it.
Yes, it's fun.
It's very cool. Yeah.
So you open every day?
No, low season it's 5 days, Wednesday to Sunday.
Okay.
High season we start opening Tuesdays, and so it's Tuesday to Sunday.
And what time to what time do you open?
Usually around 6:30 in that range, and we usually close at midnight. Most days except for Friday and Saturday we're open till 2.
Okay.
Sundays we started opening earlier because we have Fun Days Sundays. It's a fun thing to go to. It starts at 4:30, and we have drag queens and singers and strippers and just a little bit of everything. But we have a lot of entertainers that come in and promote their shows. So you get like one singer after the other. It's like a huge variety.
Yeah.
And people have a blast. And we have air conditioning.
So I love that you have food there. That you
We do.
that you offer food.
We do.
That well, if you drink a lot,
Yeah.
well, you have something to eat that just calm you down and things like
Our
that.
food is really good.
Yes.
We have a great chef. I pick things that are different. We do have tacos, but they're not the tacos you're gonna get on the street. They're made with guisados, which I was raised by Mexican grandmother, so I was raised with really good food and different kinds of guisados. And so we have, chicken tinga. We have, carne en chile verde, which is a beef and roasted green chilies. We have puerco en chile colorado, which is pork and red chilies and potatoes and picadillo. And it's things you don't get at the taco stands, and you really need to come in and try them because our food's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
I had.
And we've now started serving a taco burger, which is it's awesome. It's our most popular dish. It takes a taco and a burger, puts it together, and it's really good.
So
we have Texas tacos because I'm from Texas, and a lot of people come down here and they want crispy tacos, and
Yes.
You can't get them here. That's not a Mexican thing.
It's not a Mexican thing.
It is in my bar, so we got those. It's made with picadillo, lettuce, cheese, sour cream. It was one of our most popular dishes until we did the taco burger.
Okay. So now, if someone is hearing or watching this in the States or Canada, if it's a performer and they love Puerto Vallarta and they want to have, I don't know, to come here on the season or something like that, and if they want to be a performer in your bar, what they need to do, how they can approach you, what is the, how is the process, for example?
Right now, currently, we're holding competitions. We actually just yesterday finished the finals of our La Voz de la Catrina because we're looking for new artists, and they competed. So we gave away money and shows. So we have new artists who are going to be starting. We're starting another group next Wednesday. We have auditions, and we're going to do another contest to find some more singers. Other than that, if you are just coming down and you're an artist from Canada, you obviously don't have time to go through something like that. If they're an established singer and they're good, they can send me a reel or a video of what they do. And if I have a spot while they're in town, I can try to fit them in.
Okay. Or is someone that is planning to live here for 6 months during the season,
right?
That they can just do the casting with you.
They can also come to our open mics. We have open mics throughout the week, and I listen to them, and if I think they're great, and then we'll put them in. And it's more than just being a good singer. You have to be an entertainer.
Yes.
You got to be able to engage the audience, talk with the audience. It's not just standing up there singing one song after the other. Our place is very intimate.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. It's not large, it's small. We got a small little dance floor in front of the stage. And it's very much about, we're not a theater. People don't just sit and watch. People are talking, we're engaged, they interact with the singer. Singers ask them, what do you want to hear? We don't have a produced show. Each day, even though we have the same singer each week, it's not the same songs. It's all about the mood, the moment, what do people want to hear? And that's what I love, the impromptu, intimate feel. And that's what I hear from people, like they feel like they've come to my house for a house party. And my staff makes them feel that way. I do have a really, really good staff.
How many people are working with you?
Around 10 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I really love that you have the outdoor area and the indoor area. For someone that they have like a big party that they want to hear what is happening inside, they are outside or they're just hanging out there with their friends. I think that's a perfect combination.
Right.
Or if someone gets like a very hot and humid, like with the heat right now, so they can go inside.
We created the patio because there's a lot of smokers. So when we first opened up, we created the patio space so smokers could be out there. But then there's screens and speakers, so you can actually see the stage. So you're still a part of the show. And also, if people want to talk more and they don't want, maybe it's too loud inside for them at that moment, and they want to have a conversation easier, they can go outside on the patio and do that,
So what has been the biggest challenge that you had opening the bar?
Oh my God.
Besides COVID.
Okay. Learning Mexican government and ways of doing business.
Okay.
It is not as easy.
It's very bureaucratic, no?
Yeah.
And you have to have to be patient.
You have to be patient, and even just building it out and dealing with contractors Nothing's ever perfect. Nothing's the way you're going to expect it to be. So you have to leave that American mentality behind of where you like everything perfect.
Yeah.
It'll drive you crazy.
Yeah.
No one ever meets the deadline. They tell you it's 1 month, it's going to be 2 or 3. And you just kind of have to go in expecting that so you don't get upset. And you may have to do something over again. I mean, I had to rewire my building twice because it was done wrong the first time. And sometimes you come across bad contractors that don't give you what
you
paid for.
Pay for, yes.
So that's hard. And you have to really get to know people who can help you how to do business here. With a good accountant, we had bad experiences. I had an accountant who was, I don't know if you want to call it stealing from us, but doing things we didn't know that harmed us and putting their income on our RFC, our Social Security number.
Oh, okay.
So we're paying taxes on their income.
Yeah.
And you don't even know that that's happening. There's lots of things that you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn the hard way.
Yeah.
How honest do you want me to be?
Whatever you want, so no problem.
Okay. You come across a lot of crooks. And so I tell people, if you're moving to Vallarta because it's a paradise and you don't have to work, don't. Because once you start opening a business and working, paradise is no longer a paradise.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I think it's when people say or when they have this dream of having a coffee shop or something like that, and they think that with a little commercial space, that is kind of very authentic, but the wiring is not the best, or the pipes, they have to be changed. Yeah. But they're like, oh yeah, probably. But yes, I get that. So it's a real job.
Your life in Vallarta is not the same before you open the business as it is after.
So you're not gonna be by the beach at 4 p.m.
Your
having
life
a margarita.
Completely changes, and it's very different. So if you're enjoying Vallarta and you love it, think twice before opening a business, because it's not going to be the same experience, and you do come across bad people. Yeah. And like I'm currently being extortioned for money from someone who came. My manager was leaving, and I didn't have a manager, and someone had befriended me there at the bar and said they were going to come and help me. Meanwhile, I found a partner because I was looking for a partner for La Catrina. So I was ready to hand it off. I was going to hand it off. I was going to hand it off to my manager, but then he moved back to Veracruz. And so I was looking for a partner, and I was just going to hand them the business. And this guy said he would come and help me. And meanwhile, he worked a month, stopped coming, said he had migraines. I don't know, a week later, shows up, says he's not going to work there anymore. I have witnesses, leaves. 2 days later, he starts extorting me for money and says I have to pay him so much money, and then claims that I fired him. And then the amount went up and up and up, and now he's wanting well over 200,000 pesos. He's trying to get a year's salary. And this is someone who said he was going to come and help me. And those are very typical things that happen here. When you talk to business owners, you have to be very careful with your employees. Even though this guy was not an employee, you have to know how to protect yourself. Yeah. And I didn't know how. And apparently you need to know with the labor laws, and when someone quits, you have to go and register them as quitting. Otherwise, they really didn't. And things you just don't.
How people they can find La Catrina Cantina?
The best thing is Facebook. That's where we post most of our stuff. We also have live feeds. We have a camera that shows what's happening on the stage, so you can even watch from home, and you can even tip from home. Because it's all about supporting the artists. And right now it's slow season, so it's hard. But if you go to Facebook, La Catrina Cantina, you'll find us. Instagram, I believe it's called Catrina Cantina PV. My social media guy kind of handles that. I'm not technologically savvy, and I don't even do like TikTok and all that kind of stuff. Facebook is enough.
Facebook is enough. That's fine. And also, you say people they can watch their live feed, so like the lives from people performing. I think that's fantastic. So, Juan, thank you so much for being here in Insider PV. I'm so honored and very happy. And we have a friend in common that introduced us, and then besides that, we see each other probably 8 years ago, me walking the peak there in Amapa. So it's been very nice to see you again, and thank you for being here on Insider PV.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and well, guys, stay tuned for another Insider PV episode, because it's gonna be fantastic.